Hey there, hey, and welcome to the pod of Born to Be a Star. Today is Tuesday, one more day to my birthday, which is tomorrow. Happy birthday to everybody whose birthday is today, and happy pre-birthday to me tomorrow. Wow! And I'm a cat because I'm having fun. What's life if you're not living it? You know, today is Tuesday, and it's another opportunity for us to recognize our star power, recognize that we can do anything we put our mind to, and it's another day for us to recognize that we're truly awesome and amazing and just unstoppable. I know sometimes life wants to just be a bundle of lemons and you're thinking, what do I do with this? Get squeezing and pour some water and make some lemonade. That's what you do with it. You make it into a celebration. Not everything is supposed to do good. Just because you're receiving some constructive criticism doesn't mean it's criticizing who you are. It might just be criticizing a situation that you can fix. And you have the ability to change anything. I want you to know, just because something went bad one day doesn't mean it's going to be bad every day. Things change and things can be good. I reconnected with my best friend finally after forever, and I'm just so happy that I remained positive with that because, like, she's my sister. She's my best friend. Like, I didn't want to close that, and I didn't, and I'm glad that I did not do that. As we get into the next part of our conversation, talking about politics and politicians and the idea of the Constitution being taken away can give you a very uneasy feeling. But I gotta tell you that, honestly, you have to have the ability to be strong in these situations. So let's get into the next part of our conversation. No media allowed, no media allowed, no media allowed, because they lie to us anyway. So inflation's not at 9%, okay? Bragging about the price of gas after it took forever for you to fix it isn't a brag, okay? It's not a brag. I live in a Democratic state on the East Coast, and everything is high priced here. High priced, and I mean everything. I'm talking about groceries. I'm talking about gas still. I'm talking about food. I'm talking about rent. I'm talking about clothes. I'm talking about things you need on a daily basis. You need personal items for the bathroom or something. Soap, lotion, toilet tissue. If you're a girl, feminine products. Things are expensive where I live. And we're just getting to the point where I live where that's just normal for us. Like, normalcy is expensive here. But I'm not complaining about living East Coast because I love it, okay? So I'm not complaining about that. I love living in New England. I love what New England represents for me. And I know some people say it's like seriously liberal. And while I don't like all the liberal ideas that exist here, I'm glad that I understand who I am. Yesterday, I told you about the crappy experience that I'm receiving from people because I recently changed my voting status from unaffiliated to Republican. I went from Democratic to independent to unaffiliated to Republican within the last 2 years. Okay? And it wasn't easy for me to be at this point where I'm just like, I don't want to be a part of a group of people that I disagree with. Fundamentally, I disagree with them, and I mentally cannot be on board with something that does not make sense to me, and I don't want to do it. So I'm not going to. There's just that. And I just have a problem with acting like everything is okay because it's not okay. And I also have a problem with pretending like me paying more for stuff like my hair or my nails or basically anything is okay, because it's not. And I'm just a normal working class girl, okay? And there's other people like me. They get up every day, they go to work, they earn a salary, they're saving in their 401k for retirement. That's how they're going to get to their retirement, that way. That's what I'm doing. That's what my mom did. That's what my dad did. That's what my family has done. That's what my husband's family has done. They've just done the American middle class thing. And it's not always easy to do that, but I mean, how do we do this? How do we navigate through this and act like the things we're feeling and the things we're experiencing are okay? I don't think that me deciding I want to change my voter title has anything to do with my character. And where I live and the place I not volunteered, the poll place that I poll worked at shouldn't have anything to do with my affiliation with Democratic or Republican. And the fact that it does means there's a bigger problem here. Now, Skip has gone on and said that I'm likely not going to be doing it anymore. And if that's the situation where I'm likely not going to be doing it anymore, then whatever. But you know what? I'm not going to let that mess up my happiness or ruin the fact that I like where I live. I'm not saying everybody has to be Republican for me to like them. I'm just asking that you question things, right? I want you to question why they took so long to admit that Hunter Biden had a laptop. Why are they taking so long to admit that there's definitely something going on with behavior with the Democratic administration in China? There's something going on where they're going to certain countries that we probably shouldn't go back to. What is happening? That's my question, right? And why? Why are we lying about everything to an extent where lying is just telling the truth? But it's not. It's still lying. The Democratic Party is satanic. They want to reward people having abortions, and they want to act like an abortion is a right of a woman. It is not. It's not in the Constitution. It never was, and it never will be. No smart person is going to implement that into a Constitution where, I'm sorry, but there's a problem with fertility in this country, not just this country, but other countries. Let me tell you what's happening, right? And I've talked about it before. Young people aren't having kids at a younger age. They're not. The majority of people that are younger, that are millennials, are waiting to have kids till they're like in their 30s or maybe 40s. I mean, at least that's what smart people do. You want to be fully prepared and ready. You want to be financially stable. You want to be aware of what's happening. And abortion is a way for people to not be responsible for their sex decisions. And I'm sorry, but why is that involving the federal government? That should be something where the state's making those decisions, not the federal government. The government needs to have less power, not more. Like, we need to be realistic about that. I told you yesterday the fact that millennials aren't going to have retirement. There is no pensions, right? Those don't exist for us, right? Social Security for us is not going to be non-existent by the time we get old. So we need to be planning out different ways to figure out retirement. We need to be figuring out what we're moving into, because at this point, renting is like paying for a mortgage. And the fact that the Democratic Party wants to talk about all these things, but they're not talking about the high inflation rate on everything. They're not talking about the never-ending price gouging on everything, and not just medical. And if we're talking about medical coverage, can we talk about the fact that some of us don't care if we have to pay for medical from our jobs, but for those of us do care, we want something that's actually implemented that's going to work. And none of these ideas actually work. They're all bogus. They don't work. They're crap. That's what I want to talk about. Obamacare failed, okay? It failed. I don't know what they're trying to do. The Democratic Party is not really good. And while we're talking about this, if Build Back Better had have actually passed and it didn't turn into Build Back Never, our inflation rate would have been at 20 or 30% right now. They're spending money they don't have for things we don't need. We do not need any more fucking programs for preschoolers. There's already multiple programs that have been implemented into school structuring in the United States over the years. Care for kids, all these things that already exist here that you already created. Why are you claiming you're creating more? And why are you creating more things for bummy ass parents that don't actually work at jobs that don't do anything? You're sourcing out and creating things for the people that aren't a part of the working class, okay? The people that just want to live off the government and suck off Uncle Sam's titty. Those aren't a part of the working class. I go to work every day. I even go to work on some Saturdays. I'm part of the working white collar class, right? I work in a private sector, right? Why am I being punished more? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself that question. I have to hear about people complaining about their medical coverage while I still got to pay for it. I have to hear people complaining about gas. Then they have gas go down. Then they act like, oh my God, gas went down. Really did it? No, it's all a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. There's just that. It's a lie. A lie. Okay? L-I-E, lie. Moving on from No Media Allowed. They're lying to you. AOC is a liar in disguise. She drives around in a Tesla that costs $180,000 if she's driving. I don't even know if she drives it. She goes to these big ass gala parties that cost like $35,000 to get in, and she's using money to show off. During COVID, Nancy Pelosi and all these other shroomy ass Democratic people who want to talk about how Republicans didn't take COVID seriously all went to their parties to make sure that they had funding for the Democrats during COVID. No masks on, eating things and being around each other in a time that was very questionable. They did that then and they're still doing it now. So if you're going to hold anybody accountable, then hold them all accountable. Don't just make it so you're just pointing out the things that Republicans are doing. And how much longer do I have to hear about January 6th and Donald Trump, who's not the president? Stop using what happened on January 6th trying to act like he literally tried to take over the United States. He didn't take over the United States. They went back into office hours later and put Biden in as the president of the United States. Nothing happened. Those people used their rights to protest. That's what real protesting looks like. And I gotta tell you, the Black Lives Matter protest was worse. More police officers got injured. More businesses got destroyed. More money had to be spent to fix the things that they left behind. The Black Lives Matter protests were worse. And no one's talking about that. But the moment people want to go to the government and tell them how they feel, that's worse than a Black Lives Matter protest. No, it's not. You're not fooling me or anybody else. Shut up. Moving on from politicians, which I don't want to talk about anymore, but I have to. Let's get into Macy Gray. She is just, God. She was talking on someone's show. I guess she has some stupid album that no one in their right mind wants to listen to. How old is she? Why is she still, why is anybody talking about her or to her? She was telling the truth at the beginning of her conversation about trans people or gay people. Then she said something, and she automatically reneged on what she said to say that she loves everybody. This is what these people do all day. They're fake. Like you're seeing bad acting in your face. That's what it is. Macy Gray is just despicable, but she's not the only one. A lot of them are. Far left liberals, like I cannot side with you. I cannot support you, and quite frankly, I don't want to hear from you. Macy Gray needs to be turned off. She needs to be ignored, and she needs to be rejected by everybody. There's another person we don't want to talk to. Next, no. The agenda going forward. The agenda going forward needs to be, how are these politicians helping us, right? What are they doing where we actually live? I don't want to hear about something that Republicans are doing down south. I don't fucking live down south. I live on the East Coast in New England. Like, things cost a lot of money where I live. My state pays a lot of money and pays a lot into the bullshit that goes on with these not working individual bummy people that don't do anything. They wake up every day and they live off the government, while I wake up every day and I go to work. So does Skip. Our parents went to work. What are we talking about, right? What are we talking about? There's the question. How did we get to the point where we get far away from the reality of it all? I don't know. But I can definitely tell you it can't last long. We have to hold these people accountable. It's not just about politicians. It's all people, okay? All of them. The agenda going forward is, how are you helping me? And if you're not, then I'm not talking to you. We shouldn't have time to talk to people that are not positively lifting us up or helping us. If that's not involved in the conversation or whatever, then it's not happening. Pass. A godless world is what they're trying to turn this into. Atheists, they don't believe in God. They want to harmonize Republicans because a majority of Republicans are Christians, and they want to get rid of the idea that it's man, woman, child. They want it to be man, man, child, or woman, woman, child. That's not what it is. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, and I'm not trying to discriminate against trans people, gay people, lesbian people, people that have a different way of loving someone. I'm not trying to do that. If we're following the word of the Lord, of God, who I believe in, who I love, okay, because I just can't be a part of anything else. Like, I've listened to people try to rationalize it, and I can't. So I'm not going to. At the beginning of time, God created Adam and Eve, a man and a woman, and they were supposed to create other things. Of course, they did things the way they wanted to, so it didn't necessarily end up the way things were supposed to end up. But women become fertile so they can bear children. And men have sperm that meets the egg to inseminate it. Not every situation is the same. Some people have fertility problems. Some women have difficulty trying to carry a child. Some people adopt, whatever the situation may be. Man and woman were created to have sex and to have children. So the idea that you're having an abortion and you're taking children away for whatever reason it is can't be covered up by your right to be a woman, and that's not in the Constitution. These people are really sick. They're really sick, man. Just, it's horrible. This is a godless world if you want to kill children. Godless. And then they want to make fun of you if you believe in God, saying that you're hopeless and there's something wrong with you. And then they want to criticize churches, they want to criticize pastors, and they want to criticize believers. But you know what? There is only one God. His name is Jehovah. His name is Jesus. And when things happen, he's going to return. And when he returns and he goes back to heaven, I'm going with him. And I'm saying that, and I mean it. He's going to take a few, and I'm one of the few he's taken with him. He is the only. He is omnipresent, and there is no one else like him. If you decide you want to believe in something else, you can do whatever you want. I'm telling you what I believe in. I believe in God. I believe there's only one God. There are not gods. None of that exists. That's all a fairy tale and a way for you to get out of your reality, because you don't want to face the reality that you're going to have to answer for what the fuck you're doing. Why are parents allowing kids to go away? People want to get away from the Bible and the Word of God because it's easy to do that, right? It's less stressful to do that, right? It's easy. They don't have to deal with opinions. They don't have to deal with thoughts. And they don't have to deal with repercussions if they act like it doesn't exist. Unfortunately, that's not how it exists. And you're all just in denial. And it's kind of sad. But I'm not going to be a judgy person here. I'm just going to believe in God. And I grew up in a Christian household. We went to church every weekend, and I took part in church school. I sang. I did events with the church. And as a young adult, I'm a member of a church now, Emmanuel Baptist Church. And I volunteer and I help out with that as well. And there's been times where I've disagreed with the church and I've taken a break from it, but I still believe in it. A godless world means a world that doesn't have any responsibility, and they could just shun away from anything that holds them responsible. But when he does return, what are they going to do then? Because if I'm right, which I think I am, there's no getting out of what's coming for you. Your ending is so horrible. I don't want to imagine that. Going against God to that depth, he has the ability to snap his fingers and make people disappear, and you're not questioning your behavior or what you're doing. You people should really be nervous and scared and just really skeptical about these things you do, and you're not. And that's a problem. And I don't know. I'm just going to hope things go well for you. A godless world is going to lead to God is coming back world. And that's going to lead to nothing good for you. Moving on to the next part of our conversation, societal voices. What exactly are societal voices? That's a good question, because I feel like people have a inability to face reality or face the facts. Like if you do have Republican thoughts or you disagree with Democrats, people will kind of give a voice to it, like you don't want to talk about like someone's like financial situation, or you don't want to talk about like politicians or things. Now, I don't think anybody should talk about politics or anything outside of like your immediate family or someone you can trust to talk about it with. I don't think you should be talking about that at your employer or around people you even may trust, because those are really difficult conversations. But how do we deal with the society of it, right? I don't know. In America, things are different than they are in the rest of the world. Society paints a picture of what they accept and what they like, and if you don't fit into that, you get shunned, dismissed, and canceled. So I really don't know how this works out. What I just said is you have to be very careful with the conversations you're having with people. Do I think you have to hide your opinions? In some ways, yes. In some ways, you just have to be quiet sometimes. When you overhear people talking about things, sometimes be a listener, don't be a talker. I think that's important. And I think it's also important to understand that where I live does not represent my opinion. Society wants to tell me I have to be this and I have to do that, and I have finally gotten to a point in my life where I understand that that's a lie. I don't have to do any of the shit. You, like, celebrities are so desperate for attention, you'll do anything. You'll say anything, you'll do anything, just so you can remain important. Why am I hearing about Kim Kardashian and her ugly ass boyfriend? I don't care. And then you guys want to shun Kanye West? I'm on his side here. Like, who cares? She married some guy for a week that was a basketball player. He wasn't even that great. Like, come on, man. Chloe is, like, not married to the guy she's having these kids with. Like, these people are very questionable and they're desperate. And Justin Bieber talking about his disease he has or whatever. He's canceling his shows. He's looking for sympathy. His wife has something wrong with her as well. Just, here we go. If it isn't one thing, it's another. That's society. Society wants to include itself with fame. And it's so strange and weird. I can't do it though. I can't do it. I can't. If you can do it, good for you, but I can't. I'm just going to say it. No, thank you. I think we live in the society. I don't think that means we have to allow the society to tell us what our opinions are. And I think it's messed up that people get to that point and they actually believe in the news and they listen to these psychotic creeps. These people aren't on our sides. They're not. Moving on to the next part of our conversation. Holding on to light. What does holding on to light means? It means you're laughing more. It means you're enjoying every second more. You're spending more time doing things that make you happy, make you comfortable. Why not? You don't have to be miserable. You don't have to be upset. You don't have to be any of these things. You don't. And you shouldn't be. That's what it means. It means that anything is a possibility and you can find your way through the darkness by being the light. You are the light. So when there's a negative connotation or conversation where someone wants to disagree with you, where someone wants to cancel you out, like I told you, I'm getting canceled out because I recently became Republican. If someone wants to act like your opinion doesn't matter, resonate yourself in yourself as the light and say, it's just another day and someone's just acting stupid. But it's okay because I'll be fine. Because you know what? I'm not the only person that feels like this. And find something positive and relish in that instead. You are the light. And we talk about that all the time. Funny pet videos are necessary. Oh my God. So Skip watches this YouTube person and she like talks to foxes and stuff. And it's so cute. Like the foxes want to be like petted and they want like treats and they want like they pick when they want specific FOOD, and I'm spelling it because I don't want to say it because Benny's smart, and if I say that word, he's going to want some. I'm trying to avoid that. See, here he is. Benny, say hi. Say hi to all the listeners of the podcast. They want to hear your opinion about this, about funny pet videos. Do you like to roll around? Do you like to have fun? Are you silly? Are you silly? He is very silly. He likes to pretend he's swimming on the carpet. It's funny. It's really funny. I think pet videos are great. You should look at them any opportunity you get. I told you Skip follows this woman that lives in like a a pet sanctuary, and she like takes care of foxes and stuff, and it's really interesting. I like to watch like kitty videos or like puppy videos with Yorkies. I'm obsessed with Yorkie terriers. Benny is actually a 100% Yorkie terrier, and I love him, and he is the light of our lives, and he's just so fun to be around, so entertaining. But pet videos are fun because like you get to see like the little friends in action, and they're so hilarious. They're like rolling around, they're talking to each other, and it's funny to watch. It's just hilarious. I like pet videos. They're really fun. Regardless of the pet. It could be like any pet. It could be a pig, it could be a duck, it could be a cat, it could be a dog, it could be a donkey, it could be anything. A bird, it could really be an owl, a bunny. It could be any of them. They're hilarious. Turtles. Pets are fun. Moving on to the next part of our conversation, Irma Vep. I saw that on Netflix. I don't know if I'm going to watch that. Last Night in Soho is finally on HBO, so we'll finally watch it for free because we weren't paying to see that in the movie theater. Return of Peacemaker. I don't know when it's coming on, but I cannot wait to see John Cena as Peacemaker. He's an amazing Peacemaker. He's really an amazing actor, and that show just proved it. Batwoman, I haven't caught up with that, but maybe I will. Return of Harley, any day now. Any day now. Most Dangerous Game, I'm not sure if I'm going to look at it. Maybe I'll give it a try. How to watch movies now. Don't go to the movie theater unless it's worth going to. Like, I would go see, like, Marvel in the movie theater, maybe depending on what kind of movie it was, or maybe even DC, because you know how I feel about Gotham City and Batman and Harley Quinn and Joker and everything. But outside of really that, I don't really know if I'm going to the movies. Maybe even Jurassic Park, but I didn't even see that in the movie theater. Like, it came out and I forgot it. Just, like, going to the movies is, like, expensive. And, like, I don't really want to pay the money. And all, like, the cheap movie theaters that existed closed. So that was a bummer. Another movie theater closed in an area that I thought it was still open, but now it's gone. So it's like, I'm not paying for that. The comfort of a movie room. I really think if you can create a movie room in your house, whether it's your bedroom or another room in your house, the basement, whatever, you might not even need to go to the movie theater anymore. You could just utilize that as like a movie theater room in your house. Or you don't even really need another room. You could make the living room the movie room. You know what I mean? Like, you can get really creative, and you can make like your house like a movie-centric room where you have those like Dolby speakers, and it feels like you're at the movie theaters with your big TV in your living room. Like, it could maybe feel like the same thing as going to a movie theater. If you can get that feeling from it, maybe you don't need to spend $10 a ticket at AMC. Not that I don't like AMC, but you get what I'm saying? I don't know if that's necessary. That's what I'm saying. Sandwiches are simple. Moving into V-Star. They are simple. You just need bread and a meat and a cheese. Done. Are they simple if you're going to be having it for like a meal the next day? I don't really know if a sandwich is like a meal prep idea. I want to feel like it is, but I don't know if it is. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't really think you can meal prep a sandwich. I'm just going to say no for that. But you could definitely eat it at home. Cucumbers are delicious, and I like dipping them in good, like, veggie dip. I don't know. There's something about cucumbers. I think they belong in salads. I think you could also put them with sandwiches. And I'm all about cucumbers when you're making your own, what is it called? Especially if you have, like, tuna or you're eating about any type of fish, cucumbers go very well. Especially with fish or seafood. I just like the taste of cucumbers. I could eat them by themselves. I don't even need to dip it in anything. I just like the taste of it. But cucumbers are definitely a great accessory, definitely for the summer. Food trucks are really cool. They're supposed to be building a food truck area around here, and I'm definitely intrigued to go try it. They have one in another part of the state, and they have this line of food trucks, and you can go by and see what you want to try. I think food trucks is a great idea for food, and it's an alternative to restaurant, and it really has like a small town vibe, and the food's really authentic and really great. So I gotta tell you that. Wedge salad. I don't know about wedge salads. You know what kind of salads I like. Let's be real. I like kale and spinach is okay. But that's really like it. And there's only like one other lettuce, maybe romaine, but I don't really even eat that. I don't know how I feel about wedge salads. Like, it feels like a lot of work to me. Like, I'll do it if I have to, but like that's not my go-to salad. So I also like arugula. So I don't know. Like a wedge salad is probably like the last salad I do, if I'm being honest. Soup in the summer. Like, if you're trying to make soup in the summer, I say that you just use a bunch of vegetables you like, mix it in your mixer or your blender, and then just, get it on the pot and get it making. And I definitely think you'll like it. I definitely think that's essential. Taco pasta salad. I still haven't made that yet, but I'm still talking about it. Do I think it's going to taste good when I make it? I hope so. We're going to see and we're going to find out. Guess what? That's the end of the pod. Thank you for tuning in, as always, to Born to Be a Star. Talk to you later. Don't forget, you are a star wherever you are. Bye.